Alrighty, boys. So this is a VOD review for my boy John on the Billy. He's laning with me. We lose this game, and I don't think it was particularly close. I also did not play particularly well either. But we'll see how he does. I don't remember specifically how this lane went, but I think after probably the first 3 or 4 waves, it didn't go super great. So yeah, Viper does a lot of damage. And this is a tough lane, I think, probably for Billy. Just a lot of poke. It's probably just hard to get close to the Grey Talon, like at any point, as Billy. Not too much happening so far. I think the biggest thing was we probably needed to try to pressure this wave a bit more, coming up on the 2-minute mark. Just so we could buy for the camp. Which, yeah, they're going on it now. So it's a pretty uninteractive lane. I think the best thing is, yeah, to go and get these boxes. I think a big mistake we had was we let them get the bridge buff, which ended up being a casting buff. So we're gonna look and see how we lead up to the minute 5 mark. It was good pressure, good trade. Splat. It's probably like an even trade, maybe even came away down from that trade. She did about 250-ish to the Viper. Ooh, you get line there. Good line, take 300. Yeah, that's rough. But the earlier trade with the Viper, you'd probably like 250-ish to her. She did maybe like 200.
I'll run him down.
And then you took like another 150, 200 from the minions. I feel so you went to the like you got off the line and you went to that upper room. I feel like you should have just continued down and gotten those boxes, because you got those first 2 boxes and then you hop down. I don't think there's any boxes in that back alley by the church camp. So the wave was already like pushed up to the tower. Probably could have just gone and pushed, like gotten all the boxes up to where the new medium camp spawns.
Good luck.
Okay. So yeah, still not a whole lot going on. I'm really hurt. Yeah, I think you missed that bash down. So right here, we just set up. We were just not set up well enough for the buff, because they just have a lot of pressure and a lot of initiative on us. I think by this point I was just taking so much spam from the Viper and the... honestly, both of us are. Like, both of us are just hurt. Or like the same amount of HP. The Viper goes over, she gets the buff. And then...
I see Viper.
Yeah, she comes over to me, and I just die to this. I'm at 400 HP, and I think that I can, like... She comes in from here, and she goes on me. I wreck her and I trade with her, but I just die at 270 HP. Which is kind of crazy. She does have a casting buff, so it's not, I suppose it's not unreasonable. But yeah, this is probably the start of where things get out of control for us. So I should have just, I guess I shouldn't have. I did not know or expect it would have done that much damage, so that's kind of just a lesson that I learn and have to hold right there. But yeah, it's hard for our lane, because our wave clear is not super great in comparison,
They ain't gonna get very far.
or at least it's not as safe. We both have to be fairly close to the wave, because you want to melee them. I want to rake them. So this guy comes in. You decide to fashion, chain. You do get the pull in.
Shit, that was close.
Okay.
Headed to blue.
I ain't getting killed by chumps like them. Stay safe out there.
Go enchanters, which enchanters is probably pretty good here against their team.
Going to shop.
So right now the Viper's on blue.
Let's take out great talent.
Yeah.
Gold horns get zero
I
respect in
think
this
one of the other issues is that there were like, I don't know if we ended up killing this guy, but yeah, there were I think a few times where we got very close to killing this Great Talon, but we never actually got him low. Viper rotates back over, so she's here. We probably should have pushed this a lot harder and a lot faster. I think that was probably the mistake here. Is once we saw the Viper show on blue, we should have just shoved in. We tried to go for the Grey Talon, but we probably should have just continued to shove the wave like under the tower and then just pressured the wave. Or we should have just all-in him with my ult.
Let's take out great talent.
So I believe he does die here. Yeah, so we get him here. Which, that was good. That was good from both of us. Yeah, this is a pretty annoying spot for us because even though we get a kill and we're like continuing to pressure this lane, they're just always sending people over here. Yeah, like there's 4 people here now. I think this could have been fine. I do think that maybe like, so we don't know the drifters here yet, but we do know that like there are 3 people here. Probably the best thing to, it's like, it sucks that they come and they invade on the centers, but we did get their centers, right? Like we killed their Grey Talon and took his centers. I don't actually remember if we took his centers, but we did while he was doing the centers. We killed him for his centers, right? So this is them trading back onto us. They have 1 extra person. Like we know that all of these people are here, right? Because I can see these people, like we can see these people on the map. So I think with Billy, I don't play Billy, but I think you do have to have a good amount of just like fight, and you just need to stand your ground and post up on people, because that's just how the character is. But sometimes it's probably worth it to run away, right? Because it's like this guy's popping his ult, and then these other people are here. We don't know that the drifter's here, so that's unfortunate. But we do still know that it's a 3v2. I would say once this guy pops his ult, it's probably just time to like peace out, right? Because the two of us we don't want to fight against this guy in here, especially with two other people coming in from the right side here. I would say probably once this guy goes on you, you just try to retreat and get back to me. And it's like, we lose the centers, but at least we don't die. Because even without the drifter there, I think they still collapse on you. And a character like Mina can kind of help, but I go in, I do my burst to one, maybe two people if they're clustered together, and then it's quite awkward for Mina to use her ult inside like that. It can be okay, like she can obviously ult people, but you don't get a lot of height, like you would still be getting hit by the Warden ult probably. I would be in a position where I could just get shot. I like the Viper could just throw her stuff on me. Great Talon could. So we're fighting over this buff. She gapped the buff. So I think this fight is probably more justifiable. So we get there, we're 7 seconds after the buff spawn, so we're a little late to it regardless. So we get here and we're like, okay. So she was early, right? I think you still go for it. This is still kind of risky. Because if this Viper was on top of it, she just parries you, right? She just like gets the buff, stands here, parries you. So this is kind of scary, I would say, when you get the buffs late like this, because you gotta be down to, because let's see, so you get here and you see she's already like, she's off the rope, she's on the platform while you're coming off the rope, so she's gonna get to this buff, because you can like punch the buff. If you jump off the rope, you can like jump into the punch, and she's already out, right? So you know that this Viper has the initiative to grab this buff before you, and what the person who is grabbing the buff can do is they can either grab the buff and leave, so they can grab it, escape, one of whatever amount of directions. They can grab it and fight you. Or they can wait. They can play the mix-up where they know they've gotten there ahead of you, and they wait just a slight moment, but they still give themselves enough time to initiate their punch right before you. They punch the buff and then they parry as soon as they grab the buff, and then you get parried, right? But like right here, like you're starting your punch and she's already broken this buff. She may be far enough away. This may be spaced well enough to where she can't parry you. But she still could have easily just walked forward. She decided to backpedal and shoot you, but she could have walked forward and just parried you. So it was a little, you know, I think at this point, because she's at like half HP, you're at full HP, but she does have a gun buff now, and you're about to go into enemy territory. So I think going on her is fine. I think once, so I think you miss your ram. I think if you had hit the ram, it would be much more justifiable to chase her. But I think, I know it's so tempting because she's at like 500 HP, but she has a gun buff, and you're going into her jungle now, right? You're going into her jungle. I think you just miss a bunch of tracking here. I want to watch. There's two things I want to watch here. I know we're spending a lot of time on this one, but I think this is a pretty impactful moment. So miss the ram. Do hit the bash down. So that's a lot of bash down damage. Pop the blasted. Hit the next one. So you get a lot of your damage done here. But I think here, hit a melee. I think we're missing a good amount of shots. I think if you hit this track right here, I think if you hit this, you know, this track where she goes from this side up to this side, then you probably trade with her and it's not so bad. So hard to say. I think at the end of the day, if you had hit your tracking, you would have traded with her, which probably would have been worth it because she had the buff and that denies the buff and she's ahead and it would have probably been worth it, but you just kind of lost out just a little bit at the end there, which is tough. Okay. Back to farming. We're pretty far behind now, so this is a tough spot. Both of us are like the lowest net worth. So right here, yeah, so right here, we're trying to do the urn, and we like fumble this urn. Okay, so you take this tower, this is good.
Headed to Broadway.
And let's change the vision now that we're in the mid game. So pushing this lane is giving you a nice little soul lead.
Curiosity shop when I get
Or not soul lead, but bump back up. So I think we ended up coming away from that urn down like 2k. We were like minus 5k, now we're minus 7k. I think this is probably, I think what you're doing right now is probably the best you can do. You're just farming, catching up. So let's see what we buy here.
Good luck not getting shot.
Cultist, okay. It's a little late for Cultist, but I think when you're behind, it's still a decent pickup. Because it does just give you a big fat money injection. Posturing, I don't know if we're looking to catch someone.
Bring your enemies low.
Today you're making history.
And intensifying mag, okay.
Thank you.
Our green walker is under attack.
Let's take
That was good. I like that.
I see the drifter.
Yeah, a lot of what playing Billy seems like it's just like limit testing and just seeing how far you can go.
Nice work.
I like this. I like that you stop doing the camp to get the wave.
Walker is under attack.
Time to smash them.
Our green walker is under attack.
Headed to Greenwich.
Oh God!
So we're rotating over here to this fight.
Let's party. Show me what you got.
You went for the chain on that guy. He still dies because he had like no HP.
They can't hold us down.
I'm not sure. I guess he can actually. come in here. Don't see anyone. You go for a chain on this guy. I guess there is also the warden, who I think you saw him on the right side here, but yeah, this guy doesn't end up getting chained. This guy's at like 2 HP, so I don't know if it was worth blowing your chain on. I want to look on the entry to this one more time, because I think you do see this warden like on the right side in the corner of your eye.
Let's party.
So we come in and right. Okay, so that was the shiv. But yeah, you go for the chain on this guy,
Show me what you got.
and he's already in like an awkward position, and it breaks. It actually breaks and it lets him quantum. So if this guy was like, you know, even a few hundred HP more, he could have maybe escaped. You were probably gonna clean him up, but
Headed to Greenwich.
probably would have been worthwhile to just shoot him, right? Like you just see that he's no HP, you don't chain, because the whole time you're chaining, can you shoot people while you're chaining? Or are you just chaining? I think you're just chaining, right? Like you're not able to shoot. So I think because of that, you just come out and you just shoot him. You just track him and you just shoot him. The dynamo. We'll confirm if that's the case or not in a second. My alarm just went off. Sorry.
The spirit urn is waiting to be claimed.
Okay. So you're actually the highest net worth on the team. I think at this point, I would probably, like, try to hit your next power spike and try to fight someone.
Let's go.
Maybe now people will start taking me seriously.
So hopefully, so this guy should be pretty dead. Yeah, so this was good.
Our blue walker is under attack.
I think the biggest thing here for you to do, so you're pretty well caught up. You're the highest net worth besides the Wraith, right? But everything else. So instead of like taking this camp, so this camp's on our side, right? You should be going for like their farm. When you're ahead and you're playing a character like Billy, you should try to go and take their farm if possible, right? Like as soon as this cultist comes up, like you should go and you should try to invade into their jungle and steal their farm. Like you should try to fight over these centers, try to take these camps. Because realistically, like this triple camp you took, like you want your Wraith to take that, or like your Shiv to take that. You want them to be able to like safely farm these while they're still a little behind. Let's see. So looks like you're just kind of bleeding out here to the graves. So we come in on this. Your Shiv's already in. You have your Wraith behind you. So this should be a 3v2. Right? This should be a 3v2. We're going to get closer. The Shiv... Where's the Shiv? The Shiv's going to die. This Shiv's like 1 HP, right? So this guy dies while you come in. So while you're chaining... your Wraith is here. So she's... I'm wondering how they... So she chases this guy down. She chases this guy down, and then you're left to fight this full HP Graves, right? Which is probably not what you want to be doing as Billy. Like, this is probably a character you do not want to fuck with, because she's gonna sap you, and... What are her items? Yeah, she has Healbane, she has Toxic Bullets, which, yeah, they just updated these icons. But she has Healbane and she has Toxic Bullets. Her skulls are everywhere. She can just kind of, like, you know, she's kiting you now. Like, probably not the character you want to be 1v1ing. And then meanwhile, we got this going on. This guy's getting solo ulted. Does she kill this guy? You're dead. So she does clean up that guy. And she might just bleed out here. She's gonna bleed out from... Yeah, so she bleeds out. So for you, probably what you need to do in this situation is... this is kind of like team fighting stuff. Team fighting fundamental stuff is... You get into this fight, you need to know where your Wraith is. You need to know where your other people are. When you're playing like a frontliner like Billy, you could do a lot of damage as Billy, right? But one of the like main things that a character like Billy does in a team fight or in these sorts of skirmishes is, especially when you have Wraith. Like Wraith does damage, you do damage, but she's a carry, right? This is like the main thing she does is you need to like locate where she is, see who she's fighting, and you either need to go on that character that she's going on, or you need to peel for her if they're trying to go on her. Because you take these two isolated fights, and you split your damage, whereas if you do the chain, everything kind of, this guy blinks away. I don't know if you have stam, but you're like, alright, well he blinked away from me, I'm just gonna go on this person. But, it's really hard to say, honestly. Like, reviewing this whole play, Dynamo with the ult runs into the room, so if you go into the room, maybe he ults both of you and you both die. Honestly, maybe this Wraith probably should have stayed out, and she probably should have helped you with the Graves once this guy blinked away. He was low, very messy all around, but I think that's one of the biggest things is like you want to try to play around your teammates. Sometimes your teammates grief you. You could have probably just been left to die onto that Graves, but it would have been way better if you guys had just went on the same target. You guys just split your damage, and it just ended up super messy, which we're in a pub, and these are randoms, and there's a lack of communication and just, like, inherent know-how. But I would say that's probably... I think that fight could have been winnable if you and the Wraith had played more together. Which is not necessarily your fault or her fault, it was just like a miscommunication and mistiming, but I think that's what caused that fight to kind of go sideways. So now like the team is starting to fall behind pretty badly. So we're getting bullied out of our centers here. We get out.
You ain't stopping me.
Ready to use frozen shelter.
So I'm not going to reiterate the thing about farming on the... So that camp had been there for a while, so I think it's pretty fair for you to go back and farm it. Because that camp was there, like with two of them, since you went and you took the jump pad and you went and you like chained the okay, now I want to see this. So can you shoot while you're chaining? I'll probably just test this afterwards, but you chain. So I don't think you can. I don't think you were able to shoot that whole time. Maybe I'm just tweaking, but okay. But anyways, yeah, I think it was pretty fair to farm this camp because no one else was like this. This had been sitting at 2 for like 5-6 minutes. But in general, I think when you're the highest on your team, you still need to try to go and farm on the other side of the map as a character like Billy. So we leave the camp. We're like, okay, there's stuff happening below. So let's take a look. So we swing in on the line. We see the warden, which the warden is out of position relative to like what's happening. I'm assuming this holiday misses her lasso because she just used it and no one's on the line. What else do we got going on? This guy's getting caged. This guy's pushing a lane. So, but then we have the rest of their team. Let's see. Let's just see what happens. So we chain this guy, yank him in. He gets domed, absorb the bird. Now we're kind of waiting. He gets domed with you not in it. I'm pretty sure this is the game. I think this Kelvin was a griefer. Like this dude legitimately was like, I don't know if we could have won this game, but this dude was actually playing for the other team with how bad these domes were. Like this dome, I didn't even know this one happened, but this was the guy I was bitching about, where he just locked himself in with one person while people were like, you know, he's doing the equivalent of like everyone's about to kill a guy and the doorman ults them and then we can't kill him, right? He's just doing that, but with Kelvin Dome. So
Let's get this party started.
okay, so we get rid of the dynamo. We're already down our Kelvin.
No.
This guy's got high ground on you. We're chasing. Okay, got the bash down. Okay, we're gonna chill for a second. We're actually winning this fight right now.
Warden is missing.
I see great talent.
So what do we end up doing here? So right here, since we like won this fight, yeah, so we go to the centers, this is good. Try to take some farm. Yeah, I think you single hit it because you were like, I want to get out of here. I think you just want to be better about knowing what you're going to do with the centers. Like if you're going to greed for it or not. Okay. That tri-camp up on our warehouse is still up.
Just give up.
So our shiv goes down.
Better than V. I see the drifter.
So yeah, more of this. So, see, this is good. Taking their farm. This is good. So we have a Graves here.
Let's dance.
So this Graves is 27k, so might have been warranted to use like three lockdown ults on her. Going for the walker now. Yeah. So this guy's gonna chase you probably. Yeah, he parries you. So right here, so you kill the walker. As soon as you kill the walker, I don't know if you can see these people. So you can see these people. This is our team's vision. Let's back it up even more. So we're killing the walker, right? The walker is probably gonna die with the amount of damage that's being done to her, right? It's like killing the walker, You get knocked. You can see there's a Viper here, right? There's someone here, and it's a pretty well-fed person. So there's someone that's like trying to feel out this engagement. They're trying to see what's happening. You are at like half HP, like 60% HP. And the holiday's kind of baiting you. I don't know what she's doing, but she's looking to get out. So this guy is full HP, right? This guy's full HP, I believe. So I don't know if you got baited by the holiday, because she jumped in and then went up to this ice path and like got out. So I think it did kind of look like she was looking to turn and fight.
Thanks, work.
Right here. She gets on that pad. Yeah. So it looks like. So I'm not gonna fault you too hard because it does look like this holiday kind of baits you. You see her like jump towards the enemy side, but I'm pretty sure she just uses her jump pad. She just gets up on here and decides to peace out. So, but even then, I would have just probably left. Because she doesn't have her ult. I would have just left. I wouldn't have particularly trusted this holiday to be the person that I'm like trying to do an engagement with. You also saw the Viper there too. So I would say the default reaction you should have there is like, we killed the walker. I know there's some people around. I'm going to leave. Like, I'm going to get out. And then if one of my teammates has someone go on them, then I will kind of read that and go back in and try to help them if they're kind of soft engaging or trying to leave. So, because I feel like you didn't give yourself that initial space to make that decision. I think you kind of you were too close. You were right there at the choke, and you didn't give yourself the option of like, I can either leave or I can go back in. It was like, I'm staying, because you were just so close. Okay, so we're fighting over this urn. Big chain here. Big yoinky. So the chain was good. I think.
Way to not suck.
I don't know how often Billy buys Warpstone, but I feel like Warpstone might be a pretty good item to consider when you're playing with teams that like aren't following up on your chains super well.
Ready to go in there and give them hell.
Because you could like chain a bunch of people and then Warpstone back further, and then they get pulled, right?
Our blue walker is under attack.
Because I think I'm not gonna rewind all the way back to that point, but in the warehouse, it's like you went outside. All of us were inside of the warehouse, right? I guess I will rewind. And we'll take a look at it and then we'll speed back up. So you come in. I'm assuming we're in control of this urn, but all of us are like inside of the warehouse, right? So we're in this like very defensive, like she's in this doorway, I'm in this doorway. We're like pretty concaved in the warehouse, right? Where we're defending this doorway. Like they can't really, like, even though we're behind, we're in such a position. We actually have such a good position to defend what's happening here. And I don't know where the urn is. I don't know if it got turned in or not. Presumably there's an urn somewhere. Maybe they have the urn. In any case though, with the structure of how things are is we're down and we kind of just want this urn. And we're in such a good position to where they can't come in, right? So they can't come in here because this, like, we have a concave. We have maximum surface area to just beam into this tight choke point. And if they want to come in here, they just have to eat a shitload of spam, right? So you see this and you're like, all right, this is sick. A bunch of people are like clumped up right here. I'm gonna go in. I'm gonna chain. As soon as you chain these people, this guy comes in and he hits like one person. Let's see who he hits. He hits like one, I think. He hits two, maybe. He hits two. So this guy is behind us, black holing us. But probably he's kind of like negating the tempo of your ult a little bit. So the fault, like, he's cutting off the rest of us from you with this ult. These two people are incapacitated. She can't really do anything because she could shoot through this, but like it's a bunch of visual clutter and bullshit that she has to deal with, and she's probably gonna try to focus this guy down. So we're trading like our big tempo AoE CC ults. So you come in, you slam, but probably what you needed to you want to get back inside of this room, right? You don't want to be on this side of the choke because there's no one here protecting you. Like you would have much preferred to have chained these people, and then ran back towards us and yanked them into the choke, right? But you kind of come back now. You're like, okay, well, that sucked ass. I don't want to be there anymore. But you wanted to have done it when you got the chain, which is hard. Because the chain can break on the corners, but like right here, you want to try to pull back as much as you can, probably. Shiv does a good job on following up on it. Like demoted sees you doing that. But yeah, in general, in that position, you probably wanted to have chained them, and then the best you could have pulled them back into the choke. That would have been the ideal situation. And then we'll speed. We'll get back to where we were. Okay, so we actually we got mid off of that, and we're ahead. And we somehow we do end up throwing this game, which is very funny from this position.
The Archmother cries for blood.
Probably gonna speed up a little bit because we're
The spirit urn is waiting to be claimed.
already pretty deep in this review. So let's go ahead. We have the urn. So we're looking to take this urn across.
I see the enemy.
So you're doing the centers here, which is probably hard to say if it's worth it because you're like you're lagging far behind on this urn. So you hit the teleporter. So let's see if you get there in time. That's something I need to do. I'm pretty bad about using the teleporters. So you saw the Viper. You're like, where's that Viper? Viper's up there. She's on the high ground. So, getting that centers. Maybe instead of getting that centers, you could have hit the teleporter way earlier and gotten over there and like forced a fight. Potentially, while they were like posturing to see what they wanted to do with the urn. Maybe not, but I think that's one of those things where it's like, you know, do I have time? Because some, you know, I talked about this in another VOD review where it's like, let's see what happens here. So we kill this. So okay, this was the thing that was genuinely so bad, is that we used 5 ults to kill this Dynamo, which we did get him before his ult, but I'm pretty sure this is the reason why we lost, like, this engagement. So check this shit out. We land the lasso on this guy, and he's full HP. He's a pretty big boy, but like he gets hit. He's losing HP. I'm spacing out my like as soon as he can't ult. He can't do anything. He's being perma-silenced right now. And I know this is not particularly about you, but I think this is the reason why we lost this fight. This guy, like, I'm like 30% the way through my ult, and this guy's like, this guy just dies. This Kelvin griefed this entire game multiple times. This was not worth doing this at all. Like this is so genuinely horrifyingly bad what is happening right now. Like he's being silenced by this ult. And I'm not going to get too far into this, but like I genuinely believe this is why we lost this fight and then probably lost like the subsequent game from this. So this guy just dies. If I could just ult him, right? Because we end up using 4 ults to kill this guy instead of 2, right? And one of them is Kelvin Dome, and the other one is Shiv Execute. But anyways, we'll see what you do here. So you come in, and you hit a pretty nice chain. You get like 2 or 3 here. Unfortunately, we're doing this dumb bullshit in the back. Yeah, as soon as you yank these people in, no one can help you because we're preoccupied with this dumbass bullshit. So we use 5 ults to kill one guy because your ult. Well, it was a good ult. I think this was a pretty good ult from you, but it ended up not mattering because we're doing this dumbass bullshit. Anyways, so now they're like, okay, well, we have Bird, we have Last Stand. I'm pretty sure they just come in and they Last Stand us. Like this dude is just waiting. He's on the roof. He's like, all right, well, we're down 1, but so they initiate with the Bird. You take that Bird. I think you take this Bird. You're at half HP. So this Bird comes in. This Bird hits probably a handful of people. Maybe it was just you. Maybe it was just you. But you get popped by this Bird in front of like 3 people, which is scary. So you have to disengage. And they actually get you. And now you're without a rejuve. You do come up. You're full HP. So you're doing the best you can, kiting this out. You're beating this guy's ass. Yeah, this was great.
They got what was coming to them. They took out Kelvin. I am getting shot.
So I think the problem here, which was not really your fault, is that once your rejuve gets popped, like these guys are coming in, right? This guy's last standing. He's just walking. These people are just walking at us, right? They're just down, like, and we're hurt. You know, we're not exactly healthy either. Even though Demoted has a rejuve left. We have rejuves. I die here pretty quickly, I think.
The rejuvenator has expired.
Cause yeah, you're under here. They're going on you. So he dies. He just straight up dies. We lost another rejuve somewhere, probably the Wraith 8-1. So he dies thinking he had a rejuve. I think I probably also die. Yeah, I come to try to like do something here and I die as well. So they just get in on us. and by us I mean like our back line, and we have nothing, right? We have nothing to deal with it. We don't have dome to like reset this fight and like protect people. So, and they knew that. Like they forced this fight when we had like two or three rejuves, and they're down their dynamo with ult because they knew we had no ults. Like these aren't bad players, right? Um, so this wasn't particularly your fault. These guys went on you and shoved you down into this corner. Um, maybe you could have backpedaled not into this corner. This is probably the mistake that you made, is that you like the rest of our team is getting pushed this way, right? The rest of our team is getting pushed back towards our side, right? So probably the biggest mistake. Our Wraith's not even here. She left, which is another thing. So this is actually an even fight. Our Wraith is just not even here. But probably the one mistake here is you push yourself here when you probably should have just kept backpedaling. You would have taken some more damage, but it's hard to say. This guy isolates himself versus you because the Viper says, "Okay, well, I don't give a shit about this guy. I'm gonna make sure I live," and then she's gonna come in and collapse on us here. But yeah. Honestly, not much to say from your end. I don't think you did anything wrong here. Maybe if you backpedaled with us, we could have done better, or you could have also just died with us there. You end up dying anyways. So I don't think it was really of much difference. You may not even killed this guy if you didn't go into the staircase and he isolated. So it could have been the correct play. But yeah. So I don't think there's too much that happens here. A little bit of fighting.
Great. They got the Ryujin.
I think this guy gets picked. I think that's what happens, right? The double agent Kelvin player gets picked doing some bullshit. I want to see this stuff, bro. Need to move, bro. We'll see what happens to you. So he goes and he's like, you know what, man? I'm Kelvin. Which that was a nice little drive-by. It was a nice drive-by until you realize that he's like, oh man, where'd my ice path go? And suddenly he's in the middle of like 3 people. So he's in the middle of 3 people. Nick's getting owned by this ult into cage. He gets caged. Which Nick dies with this guy because he's trying to peel for this guy who just it's crazy. It's crazy. Anyways, I think that's probably we'll go to the last death and see how that plays out. It's probably like in our base or something. Yeah. Then we lose, I'm pretty sure. Okay. So I do want to test this this chain thing real quick. Billy.
You taste the music? Sucks.
Forgive you, Billy.
I'll grab him.
Okay, so you can't shoot while you can. So I was actually wrong about that. Well, anyways, I think the main takeaway here is that you recover pretty well after the poor lane we had. We had a pretty hard lane of just getting poked to death, and I had the early death, and then they kind of did what they wanted. I would say the main thing after that is once you've caught up, you probably need to be more aggressive with how you're using your lead. The main thing was you were mostly farming on our side of the map, which when you're a character like Billy and you're like one of the highest net worths, you really want to try to leverage that to farm on the other side of the map, which that's something I've been trying to be more aware of and more cognizant of, and like thinking about doing that to like etch it, like make it part of my default way about playing, which I think it's been helping. But yeah, when you're ahead and you're someone like Billy, it's like you have the means to go into their jungle, steal some camps. If someone goes on you, then you can either fight them or you can leave, right? And then the other thing about that is that you're getting some farm, you're denying them farm, and then you're leaving the farm on our side for like our carry to safely farm, or for people who are behind to safely farm. Because like, if you have like someone who's like in a pause two position who's behind, like they need a way to catch up. Like they can put themselves at risk to go into the enemy jungle, but they would rather get some safe farm, try to catch up, then start going into the gameplay loop of going into the enemy jungle. But you can already do that, right? It just makes it to where it's better for the team. Like that's what a lot of playing a character like Billy and Abrams and whatnot is like you're trying to facilitate your team. Obviously, if your teammates are going to leave farm on the map, then you take it. Like we pointed out, the warehouse triple tier 3 camp was just kind of left there, like no one was farming it, because you had started farming it and then you went to a fight, which is good. You're like, the fight's better than the farm, so we go to the fight. And then you came back and it was still there like several minutes later. Like no one was taking it. So in those cases, you just take the farm if people aren't going to take it. Other than that, I mean, I think the other main things are just when you're playing a character like Billy, who is going to, if you're going to fight, you're committing to the fight, right? And it's hard to kind of disengage from the fight because all you really have to get out of a fight is this. You have this and you have stamina, and then let's see what a default. Let's look at Together's build. April 21st. I guess that's close enough. But yeah, like Warpstone. Warpstone is pretty. I don't think you bolt Warpstone, right? I don't know if you just don't like using Warpstone. I get this build is like maybe like 10 days out of date, but this is, as soon as I click on Together's build, like this is a pretty early mid-game item right here, right? Like this is at maybe like 10k or so or earlier. Warpstone's really good on Billy. You can chain people, and then you can do this, right? Or if you need to like get in on people, you chain them and but yeah, I don't play Billy, so a lot of this is just my, like, I don't know what to call it. Just how I think it should be. Like you may have a lot better of a handle on what you're supposed to do with Billy. With like, I would notice you would do a lot of chain. You would come in, you would bash down in the chain like when they would come in, and that's cool. I feel like one of the big strengths of Billy is when you chain people, you take them like where you want them. Like the whole point is like you're sucking them into like your team. And I get walls and stuff are an issue, walls and corners and whatever. But I think if you can, like, you really want to like bring people really far away. You really want to displace people with this ability, right?
Nothing to me.
But yeah, just having better decision making about like, if I'm going to be in a situation where I'm going to have to fight, am I going to be able to win the fight, or if I'm going to die, and if I'm going to die, I need to like proactively leave that situation, right? Like there was the situation on the Sinners in the early game where the Warden came in, and it was the Warden comes in, you already knew the other two people were there, and it's like I could probably fight the Warden by myself, but the other people on the team are going to come and fight me, and it's, you kind of have to know, well, I have to just leave. I just have to disengage and leave. I probably have to use my ram to like escape with. The Viper one on the bridge was a little more gray. I think you certainly could have won that one if you had played better. You just missed some shots, and that was unfortunate. But that's one thing that I've noticed with Billy is that you either need to leave or you need to be confident that you're going to kill them. And there were several times where you just posted up on someone and you killed them, and that's good. And that's probably part of just learning and playing Billy is just like, can I kill this person or these multiple people without dying? Then I just stay in. But that's not always the case, and it is really important in a MOBA to just not die when you don't need to. Dying in MOBAs is very bad for a number of reasons. So even though it feels bad when you're like, I could have killed that guy, but I probably also would have died had I stayed in. It's probably worth it to leave. So I think those are the main things I saw. But otherwise, I think you played it pretty well. Just I would just get into a habit of better like better macro decisions for farming and deciding when to stay and when to go. All right, well, this is it's a little bit over an hour, so hope this helps. See you on the next one.